This is music, and this video is either a Jack or a Joker. Welcome to another First Impressions video. In these videos, I share with you my first impressions of the many blind buys I've picked up lately. A while ago, I bought some really cool items from none other than Nathan or Mr. JJ himself from the Tokyo Vinyl channel. So go and check out that channel. Bought some really cool CDs and some really cool vinyl. And he was nice enough to throw in a free cassette tape as well, which I really appreciate because I love cassette tapes. In this video, I'm going to follow up on that and I will share with you my first impressions of those items, starting with the cassette tape, Masaru Miyakita, the guitar. And as far as I understand, this is some kind of special edition or something, which is really cool. Uh, so this is instrumental guitar rock, but it's not mindless shredding. There's a lot of emphasis on melodies and just making the songs interesting. So, there are cool riffs and stuff too. So this is really good stuff. That's the kind of instrumental guitar rock that I like. And there are like different styles on here. So yeah, it's just super interesting. Great stuff. I think my favorite track on here is probably Storm from side A because that one is somewhat heavy and it has a really cool bridge that reminds me of progressive metal. And I actually also like the ballad Dance with You because it's kind of a funky ballad and I just thought that was really cool. So I really enjoyed this one. This was absolutely awesome. And then there's this one here, One Way by Jackson Joker. It's a single, one of these mini CDs, which I think were really common in Japan, but basically non-existent here in Denmark because singles were not released in that format. Uh, this is really cool stuff. I really like the two songs on here. I would say it's glam metal, but it's kind of quite heavy glam metal, maybe straight up heavy metal in a way as well. It kind of reminds me of Night Songs by Cinderella. So it's that style of glam metal. And it's just, I think it's fantastic, fantastic songs, great riffs, great musicianship, awesome guitar solos, really, really enjoyable songs on here. Glad, glad I bought this one from Nathan. I also picked this one up, also by Jackson Joker, Freedom Land, backed with Lonely Valentine. So Freedom Land is kind of a rock and roll inspired hard rock song, up tempo, fun, high energy, really enjoyable as well. Ballad, Lonely Valentine, it's fine. It's nice to have on in the background, but it's not something that rocks my world completely. Freedom Land does though, because that one is super fun. And yeah, these, like I said, these formats here, or this format, virtually non-existent here in Denmark. So this is a first in my collection. Really cool to have those. Now, Freedom Land is actually a song from this album here, self-titled album, Jackson Joker. I think it's the debut. Yeah, so it's to me, it's glam metal. It's some kind of glam metal. Some of the songs are, yeah, like rock and roll, hard rockish. Some of them are almost like boogie rock, and some of them are quite heavy, again, along the lines of uh, Cinderella Night songs and maybe, the heavier uh, early Motley Crue songs. And I think this is great. Fantastic guitar solos. They are really awesome. Nothing wrong with the musicianship here at all. Virtually no fillers. There are a couple of songs that, ballads, I can take them or leave them, but the hard rock songs and the metal songs are great. Just great riffs and, super enjoyable. I would say this album here, in my opinion, is up there with your Motley Crue albums and your Cinderella albums and Rat and Poison and stuff. The vocal style is quite different from your American glam metal, and I think that's actually cool. I appreciate that. So this one is great. Definitely, if you are a glam metal fan, it's worth checking out. Then there's this one here with the infamous cover artwork, Vanishing Vision by X, or it's X Japan. And this is really cool too. These guys are, I think, among the pioneers of Visual K, but Visual K sounds very different nowadays from what it did back then. This is kind of a mix of speed metal, power thrash, um, hard rock, some straight up heavy metal, and some ballads as well. And it's really cool, really enjoyable. I know the artwork is probably unpleasant to look at, but the music is awesome. Um, you have a couple of ballads on here, and again, I can take or leave the ballads. Uh, but it's really funny. You have song titles like "Dear Loser" and "Phantom of Guilt." You got "Sadistic Desire." You have "Give Me Pleasure." That song is a bit of a filler, I think. And then you have "I'll Kill You." And then there's a song called "Alive," which is a piano ballad. So that's kind of a weird dynamic. But great songs, fantastic musicianship, nothing wrong with the, speedy power thrashing songs, and the hard rocking songs are great too. The ballads, yeah, like I said, I can take them or leave them, but this is great. And it's very clear that these guys had a huge influence on current Japanese metal scene, both in the kind of approach where you have like songs from different styles on the same album, uh, but in particular, the power metal songs, or power metal-ish songs on here, you can hear that that sort of stuff had a direct influence on a lot of the power metal bands on the Japanese metal scene today. So yeah, uh, unpleasant cover artwork perhaps, but really cool music. And the last CD is this one here, Skull Thrash Zone Volume 1. And this, to me, is a thrash metal gem. This is one that I've been wanting to pick up. So, really cool that I could buy this one from Nathan. Uh, so, you have some really cool songs on here, fantastic thrash metal songs. And they're also different from one another. They all have kind of an undergroundy sound, which I think is cool. So the first band is Doom, and they have two songs. All bands have two songs. You and Get Up You and Doom Days. And that's kind of weird, technical, progressive, avant-garde, theatrical thrash metal. And it's really awesome. I like that stuff. I don't mind thrash metal being a little bit arty-farty every now and then. So I enjoyed those two songs. The next band is Shell Shock, and uh, the two songs are Endless War and Through the Night. And this is more like traditional, straightforward thrash metal, kind of inspired by American thrash, I think, but really great songs. I had a blast listening to those songs too. Fantastic. You have X on here too, or X Japan, with two songs that are not on this album here. So the two X Japan songs on here are much thrashier than what you have on this album. Uh, Kind of speed metal, thrash metal, really aggressive, fantastic songs too. Kind of punky in a way, some of them, or some of parts of the songs. I mean, it's kind of weird to say some of the two songs. That makes no sense, but I'll try to say some parts of the, you know what I mean. But they're great too, really enjoyable. And then you got Jurassic Jade as the next band. You have Kakami Yo Kakami and the Old Kingdom of Hell. And they are like faster songs, more aggressive, kind of. I don't know if hysterical vocals, doesn't really capture it, but they're like very aggressive and angry sounding vocals. Um, Shorter songs, fast songs, almost crossovery in a way, but great songs. I really enjoyed them. And then you have Ground Zero as the next band with Death Train and Victim of King. And Death Train is musically, it's kind of an American sounding thrash song. The vocals are kind of guttural, so it comes out sounding a little bit like death thrash, but it's great. Victim of King is a more straightforward thrash metal song too, and they're both great. I mean, all the songs on here I think are fantastic. Like I said, I think I said that this is a thrash gem. The last band is Rose Rose, and that's more of a crossover thrash band. You got Death of Thrill, and then you have There's No Realism. And yeah, these songs are fast. They are kind of thrashcore or crossover thrashy with punky elements and blast beats even, and they're great too. I have to admit, I caught myself just fist pumping in the air many times while I listened to this one. So this is a great thrash metal compilation. Absolutely fantastic. Really glad I got to buy this one from Nathan at a very fair price at that. So that is awesome. So, uh, let us turn to the vinyl. I actually haven't listened to them yet. I haven't had the time for it, but I'll just splice this part of the video together with a part I'll shoot after I've listened to the vinyl, and we'll take it from there. So, yeah, let's move on to the vinyl. Let's turn to the vinyl. Starting with this one here, Action Kit 2 by Action. This is an EP, complete with the back that it came in originally. And I think it has everything else that it came with originally. So this is very melodic 80s metal, and it's very good. The songs are catchy and they're memorable and they're fun. I quite like it. Side A leans a little bit more into the metal side of things, and side B leans a little bit more into the hard rock side of things. And we're talking kind of melodic hard rock with AOR elements in it. And I prefer side A because it's a little bit heavier, and I think the songs are a little bit more interesting. But even side A is very melodic. It starts out with probably a cheesy synth intro, but I quite like it, so I'm fine with it. I think this is a great little EP. I've spun this a couple of times already, and it's very enjoyable. I definitely like it. Uh, it is very melodic and quite commercial sounding as well, but I don't mind that, so that's cool. We got more action, same band, moving and rocking. This leans mostly into the hard rock side of things, and not so much AOR informed hard rock, but just more like, I guess, straight up hard rock, if you know what I mean. You even have some boogie rock every now and then. And you do have some more 80s metal elements that pop up every now and then. And that's cool because it makes the hard rock songs a little bit more interesting because you just got different stuff going on. But I think this is a very enjoyable album too. I've given this a couple of spins too and enjoyed every single spin. It does close off on a quite heavy song, kind of doom inspired. I wouldn't call it doom metal, but maybe doom metal inspired. Maybe it's inspired by Black Sabbath or something like that. I don't know, but that's a great song. So this is an awesome album too. Really enjoyed. We got more action. This one here, A Warning in the Night. And I like how it just gives you a tally, like 9 songs in all. So that's good to know. This is very interesting because the cover art or photograph or whatever you want to call it on the cover kind of gives me Cinderella Night Songs vibes. And the logo kind of, this could be a thrash metal logo, maybe even like a late 80s, early 90s death metal, extreme metal logo. So I think that's very interesting. But yeah, so this one gives off a night song vibes like the on the cover artwork. And if you listen to night songs, uh, you will learn that it's not cheesy glam metal album at all, although it looks like a cheesy glam metal album. Musically, Night Songs to me is quite heavy. It's a 80s metal album. And it's the same thing with this one. It doesn't sound like the music on Night Songs, but there's hardly any glam metal on this one. This is a straight up 80s metal album uh, with a lot of melody, to be sure, but for the most part, it's quite heavy. It has your 80s metal riffs and just great songs from beginning to end. Uh, I think it's fairly balanced, right, in terms of side A versus side B. I think they're both equally good. I think this is actually a great album, and this was a very, very positive surprise when I listened to it. This is fantastic. You know, if you like glam metal, you might want to check this one out, although it's heavier. I mean, if you like Cinderella, you might like this one. If you like traditional 80s metal, don't let the glammy cover artwork fool you. This is straight up 80s metal and it's awesome. I really like it. I think that's a fantastic album. And up last, we have this one here. This is a single, Presence. That's the band. It's called Rock and Roll. I do have another version of this single. I have a flexi disc version, uh, 7 inch, but that one only has one song on it, and this one has three songs on it. It has rock and roll, and it has two other songs. And I quite like how it even has like a motivational message on the front cover, which says, uh, "Nothing equals to this moment. Times of good luck, times of bad luck. Forget them all and dance with us. Rock and roll is forever." I like that. It's motivational. So this is more like commercial sounding hard rock, boogie rock inspired, and it's great. I mean, I already knew the rock and roll song, and I think it's great. The two other songs are also great, uh, but it is more like I said, commercial hard rock with yeah, it does have elements of 80s metal. I mean, kind of hard to avoid, right? But this is an enjoyable listen, and I'm glad to have this version with the two other songs on it. The production is like 80s metal, but the music is more like 80s hard rock. So it sounds quite polished, so it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I quite enjoy it, so I'm glad to have it. So there you go. These were my first impressions to all the cool items I bought from Nathan JJ from Tokyo Vinyl. So check him out on your own. I like all of them, but check him out for now. Thanks for watching.